A major winter storm will produce localized blizzard and near blizzard conditions in parts of western New York this weekend. I'm meteorologist Don Paul. Welcome to my podcast, Don Paul's Bits o' Blather on weather and climate, and no blather here. Let's first get through some of the weather headlines you're going to be dealing with. First of all, this Friday evening, strong winds will develop once again out of the southeast, but this time the strongest gusts will be confined to southern Erie County over the hills, the Lake Erie shoreline from southwest Erie County down to the Pennsylvania line, and on the Chautauqua County hills, where some peak gusts could reach, maybe exceed 60, not as strong or as widespread as Tuesday's high wind event. The cold front from a deep low pressure system, another one, will be going by in the pre dawn hours of Saturday. Once it does, winds will shift and veer from southeast to southwest. Now, during Friday, east winds have pushed waters toward the western end of Lake Erie. On Saturday, strengthening southwest winds will push that water right back toward the eastern end of Lake Erie, and that's going to result in lakeshore flooding from Ripley all the way up to the upper Niagara River, including the Buffalo Harbor. A lakeshore flood warning is in effect for significant lakeshore flooding. Route 5 will feature some really difficult travel with wave action and treacherous travel once the temperatures slide below freezing. Icing will be developing on top of all that water, so you should try to avoid travel on Route 5, especially Saturday afternoon and Saturday evening. Now, a winter storm warning for all of western New York goes into effect late tomorrow morning, excepting Allegheny County, where a winter weather advisory for a lesser event is up. However, this warning expires for Niagara and Orleans counties on Sunday at 3 p.m., but continues for the rest of the warning area, Erie, Genesee, Wyoming, Chautauqua, and Cattaraugus counties, until 7 a.m. Monday. Lake effect will be on the move after it develops, but it appears there may be less oscillation than had been seen in some of the global models a couple of days ago, which could spell heavier accumulations with a little more residence time over any given location on Saturday from late in the afternoon into early Sunday. The band may stay around long enough to produce accumulations in the metro area and the nearby suburbs of 8 to 16 inches by early Sunday morning. And within that band, with these strong winds, and on Saturday, we could see peak gusts reaching 60 to 65 miles an hour. There's going to be whiteout and blizzard and near blizzard conditions developing, making travel anywhere from hazardous to near impossible in some locations. Of course, it remains to be seen whether any travel bans will be issued. But the lake snow will start, it appears, first in Niagara and Orleans counties Saturday afternoon as the cold air deepens, accompanied by blowing snow, and then settle somewhat to the south into the Buffalo North towns, Amherst, Clarence, the Tonawandas, and into Buffalo by late in the day. That makes it a close call for people leaving the Sabres game late Saturday afternoon. Again, blizzard and near blizzard conditions will develop within this band due to these strong winds. And this snow Saturday night, as temperatures slowly fall, will take on a lower density, which will allow more drifting. And that's going to add to travel problems as well. By Saturday night, temperatures slowly falling through the 20s. The southwest winds may let up just a tiny bit, with the gusts coming down below 60 miles an hour by late in the evening. And it's possible that the wind speeds will be below blizzard criteria by Sunday morning, but don't let that confuse you. Sunday winds out of the west southwest will be averaging 25 to 35 miles an hour with some gusts up to or over 40 miles an hour. That's going to produce a wind chill all day Sunday in the single digits, which means, assuming the game is played, you really need to be layered up because the risk of frostbite will be much higher than what we've been accustomed to, and hypothermia as well. You want to have an emergency travel kit in your car before you set out for the game. Blankets, you can find that information on the internet, of course, what you should have in your car should you become stranded or stuck in gridlock that develops because of the traffic load around the stadium. But by early Sunday morning, there are indications in a couple of models that average accumulations in the metro area will range, and there'll be more to come after this, from 8 to 16 inches. Of course, with such strong winds, they'll be drifting, and it's going to be difficult for you to figure out exactly how many inches there are, but we sometimes obsess about amounts rather than impacts from the combination of wind plus the snow. That's really the more important element to keep in mind. On Sunday, again, strong winds, probably causing whiteouts, even where the lake snow is no longer falling, because that snow will be low density, easily blown around. It is also a matter that once you get the kinds of winds we're going to have later Saturday and Saturday evening, a lot of those snowflakes that look fluffy, the dendrites, the pretty ones, they fracture. And once they do, they can form a matrix in the drifts that is something akin to heart attack snow. That's what happened in the more serious deadly blizzard of December 2022. Probably not quite as extensive this time, but the winds will be strong enough to do that. So be careful when you're out there shoveling. You guys my age, the phrase heart attack snow comes to mind. And there will be additional accumulations on top of what I'd mentioned during Sunday. Some models do drop the band below the stadium into the hillier terrain later during Sunday afternoon, but travel will still be difficult at best, if not treacherous, when you leave the stadium. And some models do keep that lake effect snow over the stadium and parts of the metro area through most of Sunday. So there's still kind of an open-ended question over how much snow you'll be dealing with when you try to commute back toward your home. But count on, at best, difficult and at worst, treacherous conditions. Be prepared for that because even though there are lots of you out there, you can't keep each other warm. And so keep that in mind. Now, the lake snow will probably be with us Monday morning. It appears there's going to be less wind to deal with on Monday, not that it's going to be tranquil, and there may be additional lake effect episodes in this week coming up. So the basic headlines: significant lakeshore flooding will occur by tomorrow afternoon and evening along the Lake Erie shoreline. And even though there is no blizzard warning in effect at the time of this recording, there will be blizzard and near blizzard conditions within the localized, most intense parts of this lake effect snow band. Still some uncertainty over how long it will be staying over the metro area, but it does appear a little less oscillation of the band than had been seen in some of the models a couple of days ago. And the total accumulations in some locations could, by Monday, be in the range of up to 2 feet and maybe a couple of isolated amounts higher than that. But as I said, count on 8 to 16 inches by the time you set out for the stadium. And that's assuming you're going to go early. Really tough conditions for tailgating. Sorry to be just bubbling with doom and gloom, but this is a matter of public safety. So stay in touch. I'll be updating you on social media and, as necessary, another podcast episode tomorrow. And thanks for listening this far.